Napoli fans around the world, welcome to Napoli Talk. This is another live Napoli against Empoli, Coppa Italia, 16th round. We managed to win 3-2. We got through, we're in the quarterfinals, and we're here to defend the title that we won last season, which you will have seen on the thumbnail of this video, guys. And let's see. Youssef Al Sultan, buongiorno to you as well, Youssef. Matteo's asking, how can we concede 2 goals by the same guy from outside the box? Guys, we will discuss that. I've got some screenshots as always for you guys. Bizabis is saying, question, did Insigne make us worse when he came on? I think Insigne's performance was quite bad. I don't want to necessarily go that hard on Insigne because I want to discuss something before we analyze the game. We are on the 13th of January. We've been playing 4 games since the 3rd of January. Players like Insigne have played all those games, and they were playing the games a week before that. So I want to go easy on the starters of Napoli because it's tough for them to put in the same level of motivation, same level of commitment on the 4th game in 10 days, guys. That's something like a game every 2.5 days, and it's been tough games for Napoli. So I don't want to go and criticize Insigne this time. You guys know I criticize him in other times, but I just want to say that the players that have always started, I'm going to go easy on them. I'm going to go a bit harder on players that needed to prove a point today, and I don't think they did. So, in fact, why don't I bring out my player ratings right now? You'll see them on top of your screen. There we go. So, I've given Napoli generally a 6. Why is that? Guys, we got the job done. 3 goals. That's something that we haven't done. We haven't scored too many goals recently. 3 goals, we conceded 2. That's a big issue. But the main thing today was with a few guys coming into the team that don't usually play. I'm talking about Rahmani, Lobotka, Elmas. We managed to get through. No extra time. That is key, guys. Key aspect, no extra time. So Napoli did the job. It's a 6. Nothing special, but nothing horrendous. Elmas, I've got Elmas twice there for some reason, but Elmas and Lobotka, 5.5. These are the 2 players that I think were below expectations, because especially Elmas, guys, because, okay, Lobotka, he's someone that he's on his way out of Napoli. Torino want him. He's not playing. Gattuso doesn't see him, but Elmas, he's 21, 22, 20 perhaps, maybe even 20. He should be taking these opportunities as a starter and going out there with. He needs to, put in 120%. He's got so much talent that he's wasting by not standing out, And it's hard to stand out when you've got someone like Zielinski that you're trying to replace. But we know that Elmas is capable of a lot more. He was playing in the number 10 position this time. Usually, Gattuso has put him in recent games that he's played. He's put him, or Gattuso likes to put him on the left. He was playing as a number 10. A lot of you guys have been calling out for that. I don't think actually this number 10 is the best role for him. I liked him more on the wing. Maybe that had something to do with it. The one good chance that Elmas did have, he started off on the left, cut inside, and had a nice shot. But he started off on the left. But I expect so much more from Elmas. I thought this year was going to be the year that he shows us what he's worth. I don't want him to become a Zielinski 2.0, that it takes him 4 or 5 years to develop into the player that he could be. Okay, before I go into the other players, let me see what you guys are saying right here. So Daniel Bowen is saying, Empoli has 2 great shots. Kudos to them. I wanted more from Elmas too. Yeah, Empoli's goals, guys, there's something that we could have definitely done on both of them. But 2 great goals. If we had scored them, you guys would be saying how good of a goal we scored. So credit to Empoli. They're top of Serie B for a reason. And possibly a better team than Spezia, possibly a better team than Crotone this season. I definitely enjoyed them more than those teams. Vetsuoji, the 2 goals that we conceded was because of the players' brilliance, not the team's fault. Exactly my point. You're correctly right, even though there is one thing that I think Lobotka could have done better. In fact, why don't we go straight to that goal? But actually, no, let's go and look at these stats first off. So before I read more of your comments, let's look at some of the stats of the game. Let me interact with this window. So we've got, obviously, Napoli, Empoli 3-2. 20 shots, 9 on target. But look at Empoli, guys. 13 shots and 4 on target. Playing away from home, a Serie B team to a Serie A team. We've seen Serie A teams sit back, defend, and not try anything except maybe 1 or 2 shots. And we've seen that not just with Spezia, but we see that with teams like Inter, Lazio at times. But look at Empoli, 13 shots on Napoli. Credit to them. They made the game so much more entertaining than I thought it would be. Possession, 40%, not too bad, considering that Napoli has sometimes had 67, 68 in recent games. And quite a good pass accuracy. So guys, Empoli is not a bad team. I've seen worse stats, much, much more. And obviously 5 corners for Napoli. We managed to get a goal, the winning goal at the end of one. That's starting to change now. It's maybe a bit of coincidence, maybe a bit of luck, but we've scored a goal on a set piece on the weekend. We're scoring a goal now for the Petagna goal. Is that something that Napoli is working on? Have they been listening to Napoli talk and telling and you know, I'm telling them to improve on that, and they're doing it because it's winning us games right now. So that's great for them. And when it comes to let's actually look at the lineups while we're at it. So we actually, as you guys can see, we had Elmas in the number 10 position. Lobotka and Demme were back. I thought Demme had a brilliant game, guys. Brilliant game. I think that this was a very strong performance by him, and he's definitely, in my opinion, going to start the next game for sure, unless maybe Gattuso wants to save him for the Super Cup against Juventus a week later, but we'll see. But what I really liked, actually, before I talk about more about tactics, let's take a look at some more of your comments, guys. So let's see what you guys are saying. Let's read some here. Petagna needs to lose 7-8 kilos. Guys, that's true. He does need to lose 7-8 kilos. I thought, though, that he used his body throughout the last few games quite well. I don't think that's necessarily his problem. I think even if he lost a few kilos, he wouldn't be the sort of player that Osimhen is. But if you start removing mass from Petagna, then he's completely useless. So let's keep him nice and chubby, okay? Kudos for your last video. We can see that KK is vital on the pitch as a leader. Guys, thank you for watching the last video, for liking it. You guys gave me some really good feedback on it. Thank you. And for Koulibaly, yeah, 100%. We missed him. He's back. He was the leader of that defense. Rahmani looked a lot more comfortable with Koulibaly than he did with Maksimovic. And I think, guys, maybe we were a bit hard, myself as well, a bit hard on Rahmani last weekend. He did practice with Manolas. Then Maksimovic came in because Manolas got injured, lost maybe a point of reference, and it's tough playing with Maksimovic at the moment because Maksimovic himself is quite lost. So, but you know, when Koulibaly came back, he's a leader. Rahmani was able to play much better alongside him, and we saw that today. And credit to Gattuso, which is for playing him, which is why he gets a 6.5. I would have given him a 6, but 6.5 for playing Rahmani, actually. Let's see what else you guys are saying. There's a lot of you guys joining on the chat. Thank you, even though it's a work day. Thank you for this. Kevin Connor saying, boys, let's smash this. Let's smash that like... Oh, yeah. Sorry. I can't read. He's saying, boys, let's smash that like button. I know we got more than 9 in here. Yeah, we've got 42 people. We've got 18 likes, guys. Make sure that you're smashing that like button so that these videos get out to more people and I can make more content, guys. Smash that like button. Thank you, Connor. Thank you, Kevin Connor, for that. Idea saying Lobotka Demme goated. Guys, Lobotka didn't play too bad, okay? Too bad, but I don't think you could say he goated. I don't think he was, that good, in my opinion. I thought actually one of Empoli's goals was his fault for not closing in on time, and I expect a bit more from him. But let's look at some of the things that happened throughout the game, and what I particularly liked in this game, as you can see from my player ratings, is Lozano, Di Lorenzo. So these highlights are going to be based on them a little. Guys, take a look at this Di Lorenzo pass right here. It's a pass that Thiago Alcantara did a few days ago, which was running around social media, where he looks one way, passes it straight down the midfield and defense of the other team, and this ball even caught Lozano by surprise, but he's not looking. And look at his position, guys. He's not wide. He came in centrally, and that is not something by chance. That is something that Gattuso planned, because Di Lorenzo has a good pass, and it's sort of almost to compensate the fact that Lobotka and Demme are not brilliant forward passers of the ball. So he brought in Di Lorenzo down the middle to give that verticality to the team. So good eye from Gattuso over there. And then if we get rid of this one, we can see that leading up to the goal, we can see Lozano's importance to this team. He stretched that Empoli defense. Look at how wide Empoli's defense is. There's at least 15 meters between the two center back, or the right back and the center back. You've got Lozano in that position on purpose. He's very good at stretching those guys up. He's obviously fast enough for Ghoulam to get any ball that Ghoulam sends to him, and he's got so much space in front of him to exploit. And credit to Napoli for giving him the ball quickly enough, because when he got the ball, he got past his man, put a ball in, and Di Lorenzo came running in. But Di Lorenzo, look at him, getting into that box, getting into a central position once again. Why? Because Gattuso put him there. Gattuso put him on centrally. So this was a winning move by Gattuso, and that's incredibly important to understand, because Gattuso's getting a lot of hate. Let's appreciate the times that he does things correctly. And Di Lorenzo scoring against his old club. But it doesn't end there. The Di Lorenzo and Lozano great performance, because a few moments later, for the 2-1 goal, you've got Politano sending a hopeful ball to Lozano, and Gattuso has been telling our guys to sniff the danger defensively. But these guys are also starting, especially Lozano, are starting to sniff the opportunity offensively. And this is what happened here. The defender miscontrols it, and Lozano's there, collects the ball and smashes it into the goal, just like you guys are smashing the like button. Thank you. It keeps rising. I see that. Keep doing that if you haven't done that. But a brilliant display by them too, sniffing out different opportunities and getting us the 2 important goals that sort of unlocked the game for us, gave us a bit more confidence, because if it had stayed 0-0 or Empoli scored the first goal, guys, it would have been downhill from there. And then this is where I think Lobotka could have done a bit better. So I think that in this goal, this is Empoli's 2-2. I think that Lobotka is missing from this position. You've got obviously Lozano tracking back. You can even see Petagna in there. You've got Rahmani on the striker. You've got Demme, who had to help out, but he's closing in from a different position. But where is Lobotka? Why is he so far away from the ball? I think he could have done a lot more. A second later, you can see Lobotka getting into the frame, but for me that's 1 second too late, and that is the difference between them scoring and them not scoring. It's the fact that he allowed this number 11 to set up himself, take a shot, good goal, but Lobotka should have been there covering. That's his job. So, but let's take a look at what else you guys are saying. Let me actually get rid of some of these things on here because it's probably annoying you guys. So let's get rid of those and let's see what you guys are saying. Daniel Bowen is saying Empoli will be a good team in Serie A next season if they get promoted. I think they will get promoted. I think they are a good team and they will probably stay up if they play like this next season. Pranav is saying Insigne has been on drugs lately. Guys, Insigne has missed some crazy opportunities lately. He did save us against Torino, but this is Insigne, right? He's been like this his whole career. He's been 5 games amazing, 6 games bad, 3 games good, 20 games bad. It's always been like this. He's the most inconsistent player ever. Just when you think that he's starting to have a good season, he takes a step back. But Insigne, if there's one thing about him, is that he comes back out on top. So, and as I said, he's played a lot of games. He's had 2 injuries this season. I don't want to necessarily go at him against a team like Empoli, Coppa Italia. We got the win. Let's go easy on Insigne this time. Matt Marco is saying, oh, I missed the message. Matt Marco, what did you say? Guys, there's so many messages that I missed them. But something about, I don't like how Petagna turns his back on goal every time he gets the ball. Yeah, Petagna has a really hard time turning when he receives the ball. It was something that I was going to point out in the previous video that we played against on Sunday. I was going to show you guys a few moments of Petagna, but then I thought it was going to be just too much of a video hating on Petagna, so I removed that from the editing. But definitely, he receives the ball very well, protects it, and then doesn't know how to turn. So he's always looking for someone to lay the ball off to, and that's where having players like Zielinski and Elmas coming in, supporting him is really important. We saw that against Cagliari, it worked out, but they need to do that consistently, because if they don't do that, there's no point sending the ball to Petagna. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Carlos Lopez is saying, love the videos, keep it up. Thanks, man. Will do. Daniel saying, everybody smash that like button. Thank you. There's 32 likes out of 44 viewers. Thank you. That's amazing, guys. You have no idea how good that is and how thankful I am of you guys for always supporting. The LPRLZ, you guys have some crazy names, I swear. It's really hard. The PRLZ is saying Demme was really decent today, missed him 100%. When he came off against Torino, that was the deciding moment, I think, in that game where we didn't lose the game, we drew it, but we basically lost the midfield in that game when Demme came off and we had to put Fabian Ruiz back on because Demme was having a good 20 minutes and it ruined Napoli's game. And I think he's going to be a very, very important player for Napoli this season. I don't understand why Gattuso started the season putting him on the bench, even though last season he was one of our better players. That's something that Gattuso needs to explain, I think. And no one's ever really questioned him about that. So I wish I could interview him and know. But if any of you guys know why, let me know. Lawrence is saying, you guys saying Petagna needs to lose a few pounds, but have you seen Lobotka? Guys, come on, guys. Come on, they might be watching. Come on, guys. But yeah, it's true. Come on, Lobotka, what are you doing there? How are you a midfielder? And yeah, whatever. I'm not going to get into that, guys. I'm not going to get into that. No shaming on this channel. ID is saying Di Lorenzo needs to play a left winger. He is a real hidden gem in my opinion. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Playing left winger, maybe right winger. Pranav is saying Insigne deserves a 4. Guys, as I said, I won't be too hard on Insigne today. Vetsu Oggi is saying Di Lorenzo is much better passer than he is at shooting. Being a fullback is what is best for him. Exactly. Di Lorenzo, guys, is so underrated. A few weeks ago, one of you guys asked me, who do you think is the most underrated player? And maybe I should have changed my answer from Zielinski to Di Lorenzo, because there's a lot of hate on Di Lorenzo recently that I've seen online and all that. But Di Lorenzo has been one of our best players for Ancelotti. He came from an average team, Empoli, only 8 million, been consistently playing for Napoli, no breaks at all, a few good assists. It's not his fault that he had players like Milik and Petagna that wouldn't put the ball in the goal. But he's really good, guys. He's really good, and he's starting maybe to show it once again. He had a good display on the weekend, good display today. When Gattuso wants something different from him, he's flexible enough to adapt. He can adapt as center back. He can adapt to being basically a midfielder like what we saw today. Super, super underrated player. Always puts a shift in. And yeah, for me, definitely a player that I want to keep at Napoli as a starter. Our problem is on the other side, on left back. Rahmani looked so much better today, says Lorenz. Yes. Credit to Rahmani, guys. Absolutely destroyed by everyone not even last week, guys. 4 days ago. But came in onto the field today and was a different man. Sure of himself. Didn't even try only easy passes. Long balls to Politano. A few good tackles. Honestly, a good game by Rahmani. It's Empoli, sure. It's not, Juve. It's not Milan. It's not Inter. But he's showing that at least against some teams he can play. I think the mistake, as I said, that he did last weekend was the fact that he hadn't played for a long time. Maximovic was playing alongside him, and he wasn't maybe used to that. And there's a lot of other factors, guys. There was a lot of pressure built up on him. I think Gattuso should have played him from much earlier. Matt Marcos and Ghoulam didn't do too much, to be honest. Guys, Ghoulam is not the player that he was 3 years ago. I've been saying it in almost every game that he's played. I just don't see it anymore. He's trying. He's putting in some good passes, but he's not the same player, and it almost saddens me when I see him play because I know what he had done. I know his potential, and it's just it's like a car. He's a Ferrari that is stuck on third gear, guys. It's quite sad, and I hope Napoli find a solution for him, honestly, because he deserves to play. Can't make it at Napoli at the moment, but he deserves to be at a lower team playing and not sitting on the bench any longer. He already lost 2 years because of his injury. Carlos Lopez saying if Ghoulam never got injured, he would be a first-team regular. Guys, Ghoulam would have been a first-team regular at Real Madrid if he didn't get injured. He was easily in the top 5 in the world at that moment. There was him, there was Marcelo, and basically no one else. Like those first 4 months of that year before he got injured, he was incredible. Luigi Della Vecchia, welcome back. Gattuso should stop screaming all the time. I don't think the players like to hear him screaming that much. I get annoyed by it and can't imagine how the players feel. Yes and no, actually. I mean, I'd rather him scream and tell Lobotka to get back into position than not him scream and Lobotka doesn't get into position in the very short term. In the long term, that can definitely affect the players and the team negatively. I've been hearing some reports that the team doesn't really, or some players on the team are not really feeling Gattuso anymore. I don't know whether that's true or not, but he's one of those. He might be one of those coaches, a bit like Conte, that players can be motivated by him for a year or two, and then all of a sudden it just gets too much. You've built up way too much, and there's just too much stress, too much tension, and then you just stop performing, or you can't take it anymore. And that's coaches like Mourinho, coaches like Conte, the really intense ones. They don't really last that long. So I personally don't see Gattuso pulling an Alex Ferguson and staying 20 years. I don't think any player would remain sane in his head for more than 4 years with Gattuso. So Luigi, you've got a point. But, these guys, they need thick skin if they're going to win at Naples. Anthony, welcome, my friend. Ghoulam was what Theo Hernandez was now. He was probably better. Daniel Bowen is saying, but currently Ghoulam is still better than Rui. I'm not sure about that because I don't think Ghoulam has the physical capability anymore. So that has to be a factor when you consider two different players. So technically Ghoulam is better, but Mario Rui is going to give you 90 minutes. I don't think Ghoulam is able to give you 90 minutes. So that's always going to compromise the team. That's always going to bring you down in that comparison. But as maybe someone to bring on in the last 20 minutes to whip in a few crosses, great. But we saw even today, his crossing is not the same as it used to. One of them, he crossed the ball and it went all the way around and it went into a goal kick, guys. It's not the typical Ghoulam of 3-4 years ago. Anel Boy 619. Any transfer news? Not really, guys. It's a quiet transfer window. I think not just for Napoli, but for football in general. So obviously in the summer, some teams bought players, almost all on loan. Napoli was the one that bought the most expensive player with Victor Osimhen. Everyone else had some sort of loan thing going on or diluted payments and all that. Napoli bought him straight up, 70 million. And I don't think much else is going on, guys. There's teams still recovering from COVID. The financial situation around Europe and football in general is really bad. And I don't think there's that much activity going on in general. There is going to be potentially, there's talks of Zaccagni from Verona coming, but not for now, maybe for the summer, something like 14-15 million for him. Basically, he's a number 10 Zielinski Fabian hybrid mix, just basically an all-round midfielder. Go check out one of his latest goals, back bicycle kick goal. Very good player. I wouldn't say very good, a good player. We have to see whether he's very good. Is he a step up from Zielinski? No way. Is he going to be a starter? Maybe. It depends what role Gattuso sees him in. Does he see him as a substitute for Fabian? If so, why not play Demme instead? So, but that's really the only player coming in. Coming out, obviously, we've got the Malquits, the Ghoulam, Hizai, Maximovic. They're all potentially on their way out, especially Malquit to Parma. But we'll see if that happens. I'm not even sure Napoli is going to get anything in terms of money. I think it could be a loan deal. What are we saying? Guys, Matt Marco has reminded me, join the Discord, link in the description, but also join the Instagram page, official Napoli Talk, if you haven't joined. There's some good memes out there. So join it if you like that kind of stuff. Follow me on Twitter if you like hearing my opinions and polls and all that. So do that. But join the Discord as well. These guys talk Napoli 24/7. Rafa Sim is saying, so we struggled to win a Serie B side. Do you still believe that this is a mental thing or tactical problem with the 4-2-3-1? I wouldn't worry too much about Empoli being a Serie B team because, as I said, they're first in Serie B. They're much better than Spezia. They're much better than Crotone. This team would sit comfortably 15th, 16th in the Serie A. So personally, I consider them a Serie A team. That's just how I rank them compared to other teams around Italy. Now, did we struggle? Yes, we did. Did we have our best formation out? No, we didn't. So am I too worried? No. How many games have we played versus how many games have Empoli played? Empoli basically hasn't played since Christmas. They're fresh. Napoli, it's their 4th game in 10 days. And it's hard to have motivation against Empoli, a Serie B team, in a Coppa Italia game. So the fact that they won the game in the 90 minutes is already a lot. I mean, guys, we saw Milan struggle and go to extra time against Torino. Torino, guys. And I know we tied against Torino, but Torino is a horrible team this year. So it's hard for players to find that motivation in the 16th of the Coppa Italia. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. I wouldn't go into tactics too much in this game. It's almost irrelevant, guys. How are you going to go into tactics and talk about the midfield when you've got Lobotka, Demme? They're never going to play again. It's a one-off situation. You've got Elmas, number 10. That's a one-off situation. So for me, this game is not really important in terms of where Napoli is going. It's more about, let's see how hungry the reserves are. So for me, I wanted to take a look at Elmas in particular. That's the guy I was focusing on. And in my opinion, I think he could have done so much more. So much more. He's playing in number 10. Be more creative. Do what you do, man. Like we've all seen Elmas be a very skilled player, and he didn't do that. And maybe had one situation starting from the left, cutting in, but I need to see more of that. He needs to push Zielinski more, and it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate because he's still young, but I expected him this year to get to a higher level. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Pranav Jain is saying Petagna plays as a false 9 like Mertens and not as a target man like Milik did, which he should because he can't turn, dribble, and doesn't have the passing ability like Mertens. Yeah, exactly. Petagna, guys, also you have to realize is not really a pure number 9 like Milik, like Higuain. He's more of in Italian we call him seconda punta, which is basically the guy that like flicks on the ball. Usually it's a term that started off when you play a 4-4-2 and you have the big striker and the small striker, or two different strikers, and one of them sits just behind and flicks the ball. That's Petagna, or holds the ball. So that's more Petagna's role. He does it well, to be honest. It's just whether that role fits a team like Napoli that likes to go vertical very fast. I don't think it does, because I think in Napoli you need someone that takes the ball, turns, shoots, or someone that goes in behind the defenders. Instead, if you're playing for a team like Spal, where Petagna was last year, then you're the only guy up front. You're the only one there, and you basically need to collect the ball, hold it for 5-6 seconds, wait for your team to come up, and then pass it on, and you can start building an attack from there. But that's your main goal. But you're never going to be getting the ball already in the opposition box, turn, shoot, because you've been defending in your own box up until 3 seconds ago. But now with Napoli, he's got to adapt. He's going to be very useful in games that we're winning and we need to control the ball a bit more. So, still a good person to have on the team. It's just unfortunate. It's unfortunate that he's playing as a number 9 for us for so many games in a row. Let's see what else. Kevin Connor saying the memes on the Insta page hit. Thank you, man. Glad you guys are liking the memes on the Insta page. Matt Marco saying, I agree that Empoli is Serie A level. Guys, yeah, we've seen worse teams out there, and they're playing away from home. And we'll see that as well, potentially, if we play Spezia in the quarterfinals, because right now we've gone on to the quarterfinals. We've got Roma and Spezia that need to play. The winner of that game plays against Napoli. If Roma wins, we have to play in Rome. But if Spezia wins, then we play in Naples. It's a bit of a weird one, but that's how it is. So that's how I understood it to be. But if Spezia beats Roma and we play against Spezia, then you guys can be reminded of how bad Spezia is and remember how good Empoli was compared to them, which is just crazy that we lost against Spezia. Elmas needs more playing time. PNB Gaming is saying he's a great young talent, so either we loan him or we start using him more often. That's probably true, guys. I've been saying how Elmas should have done more today, but at the same time, can we really expect a player to come in and just play the best football of his life after he hasn't played that much? Yes and no, because he doesn't play that much for Napoli, but then he goes to his Macedonia team and he does wonders against other international players, definitely players that are better than Empoli. players. So, players also do have that ability to switch on. But for some reason, he's not producing the goods at Napoli. Maybe his teammates are involving him less, not putting him in the positions to do it. Or maybe he's just a bit fragile mentally, a bit scared, feeling a bit the pressure. Whereas maybe in his national team, he feels a bit more loved, a bit more free to do what he can in that environment that is maybe more his than Napoli. And Danny Baum 2.0 is saying Petagna needs to be more selfish and shoot as soon as he can. Yeah, we've seen both Petagna and Llorente in the previous game, for example. They're not shooting as much. They're always looking for that little pass, a bit like Michu was in 2014, guys, when against Atletico Bilbao. I still have nightmares about that guy. But what people want to see from their strikers is take the ball and shoot. I don't even care if you miss, just shoot. Eventually you're going to score. But Petagna doesn't seem to do that. He only shoots every so often. And it's disappointing. Okay, he scored. Let's remember that he scored before I go too hard on him. He scored, which is good. Right moment, the right time. Same thing could be said against Cagliari. The right moment, the right time, in a corner. He used his body well. But we want a bit more from him. We want him to be part of the action. We want him to score less scrappy goals. We want him to, just be more into the team schematics than he is. So Petagna's got a lot to improve, and I don't see him getting that many minutes apart from the last 10 or 15 when Osimhen and Mertens come back, which is a shame because he's had so many games now to prepare for that. He doesn't have the same excuse as Elmas, who, can say, well, I don't play that much. How am I supposed to play that well now? No, Petagna's had a month, 2 months actually now to play. What else are we saying? Mertens is number 10. Zielinski back in the midfield with Demme. I agree. Mertens is a number 10. Zielinski in the midfield with Demme. I'd also like to see Bakayoko, Demme with Zielinski as a number 10 and Mertens on the bench if we play a team that we need to defend more, because the issue with Mertens as a number 10 is that he defends less than Zielinski does while being a number 10, and Zielinski is able to drop back deeper in case we need to. When we play Mertens as a number 10, that's all-out attack. We have 4 pure strikers when Mertens is on the field as a number 10. So it depends on the team. So I don't think Napoli necessarily has a starting 11. I think it will depend. If you play Juve, it's one team. If you play Torino, it's another team. So, and that's where Gattuso needs to tinker a little bit. But between Mertens and Zielinski, guys, I think we're safe as long as maybe Fabian doesn't play back there, and you've got either Demme, Bakayoko, or Zielinski. ID saying, not even going to debate Petagna. He was great. That's a bit of an exaggeration, but I'll stop hating on Petagna. Fair, he scored. I get it. I'll stop. Pranav is saying Mertens on the field and Osimhen on the bench. Guys, can I have in the comments right now? There's 40 of you in the comments right now. If we had the full team available, would you play Osimhen or Mertens as the main striker? Let me know in the comments. Basically, if you're going to play Mertens as a main striker, that means Zielinski as a number 10 and Osimhen on the field. Osimhen on the bench. But if you're going to play Osimhen as a main striker, that leaves a debate between Mertens and Zielinski as a number 10. Let's see what we're saying. Mertens, Osimhen, Mertens, Osimhen, Osimhen, Mertens, Osi. All day. Osimhen as a number 9 and Mertens on the 10. Need that aerial threat, says Anthony Navarro. I tend to agree. I think Osimhen gives you something that Insigne and Lozano don't give you as much. Whereas if you put Mertens as a number 9, then they're a bit too similar. Osimhen gives you that extra something, and there's a reason why Napoli spent 70 million I think Mertens also is 34 now, and he can't play every single game. So I think it's also fair that he plays a few games as a number 10 and then leaves the spot to Zielinski. In the meantime, Zielinski, when Mertens plays as a 10, goes back into the midfield because I don't think this team functions without Zielinski. So that's that. But as I said, there's going to be games where you have to change your tactics around. Vetsu Oji is saying, well, Osimhen still didn't prove himself. That's another fair point. We play Mertens, we know what we're going to get. 100% we know him. Osimhen, on the other hand, he's had 10 games for Napoli. But guys, the 10 games he played, game changer. He came on, first game against Parma, basically won us the game without even assisting or goal scoring, but just his movement. And he's got so much more to improve on as well. It's crazy. This guy has such potential. I wonder, his shoulder, what happened there, guys? Because every day there's different news. It's serious, it's not serious. Then there's, people on social media that are writing those different rumors and propagating false news. I don't really know what the situation is, so I haven't commented on it too much. I just did one meme on Instagram. But I really wonder how serious that shoulder is. I'm thinking it's bad enough that he'll need surgery in the summer, but that somehow Napoli are going to manage with therapies, with different braces. They're going to manage him for the remainder of the season. Francesco Valenti is saying we're suffering without Osimhen though. Yeah, we are. We are missing that someone that stretches the opposition vertically, that gets in behind them. That's definitely something that we're missing from this team. And it is something that Lozano was doing when he started as a number 9. And then Gattuso got criticized for starting Lozano as a number 9 a few games ago. But actually Lozano made some good movements. And I really liked it, actually. I enjoyed it. I thought that's what we were missing in recent games. I thought it threw the opposition off. And I wouldn't mind seeing Lozano in that position while Osimhen is still recovering, and then having Politano and Insigne on the wings. I actually enjoyed it, even though obviously Lozano is better off on the sides. As we've seen in, for example, the situation before, and when I was showing you the different screenshots like 5 minutes into the video. Avice Conti is saying Osimhen surely damaged a nerve or something. That sounds painful, guys. That sounds serious, painful, and that will require a lot of therapy or at least surgery. I hope not, but that seems like maybe that's the case, because I don't remember a shoulder injury taking so long. Usually shoulders are dislocations. It's not really, you don't really have a muscle. Well, you do, but it's not like your hamstring that you are pulling it. It's hard to pull a shoulder muscle. So the shoulder can pop off and then you put it back in. And you can have someone like Kirikesh, who basically his shoulder was only resting on his skin. Like it was useless. And he would play 3 games and get hurt, and then play 3 games and get hurt. I hope that doesn't happen with Osimhen. If he needs surgery to put it back together, sure, do it in the summer. If you can manage now, that's even better for us. As long as you don't ruin him long term. But Osimhen needs to come back as soon as possible, guys. Because Mertens, even when he comes back, we can't rely on Mertens. As I said, he's 34. We can't really rely on Petagna. It's not his position. So we need Osimhen. Guys, there's a lot of messages. I'm sorry if I don't get through all of you. But I'm trying to address as many of you and as many different people as possible. And thank you for the support. And guys, 42 people watching, 41 likes. Thank you. Keep smashing that like button if you just joined. That really helps me out and makes me do more videos, because it shows me that you guys are liking it. So Matthias Sisa Gamer. I told you, you guys have some crazy names here. Matthias Sisa Gamer is saying, I think that Gattuso should play El Chucky as a striker. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I think not always, but in some games. And guys, it's a different. Before someone says it's like Ancelotti, it's not like with Ancelotti. Ancelotti was a 4-4-2 that Chucky was playing as a striker. This is a 4-2-3-1. It's a different system. A striker in a 4-4-2 has a different role than a striker in a 4-2-3-1. So let's not compare pears and apples, okay? Chucky in this system, 4-2-3-1, could be a good striker on his, not as good as Osimhen, not, no one's saying he's Lewandowski, but he's going to do more damage than Petagna, in my opinion. And ID Beats in the comments is going to kill me for saying that. But yeah. Nedal Kalomar is saying, how do you think Napoli will perform versus Juve? How do I think? That's a big game, guys. He's referring to the Supercoppa, 20th of January. Interestingly enough, Napoli had asked to postpone it because they wanted to play it with fans and get that money and send it to COVID research and COVID, helping out with COVID and all that. Good cause, very good cause, very noble. At the same time, the last thing Napoli needed is for Napoli to ask to postpone another game with Juventus. All hell would have broken loose, and the amount of hate that Napoli would have gotten unnecessarily would have been huge. So very bad for public image, especially if you ask that, rumor comes out, and you don't explain it in time. Napoli took a few days to explain it. Anyways, the game is still going on. What do I think of it? I think we're playing Juve at our worst possible time. Absolute worst. Maybe only it could have been worse after Torino. But luckily there was a break and we won against Cagliari. We're playing Juve, and Juve are on the up. They've passed us in the table. They've got that little bit more of confidence. Pirlo knows the team a bit more. They know Pirlo a bit more. However, Dybala is injured. He's going to miss the game. You've got other players like McKinney, or whatever his name is. McKinney. I forget. He's going to be injured, but he's doing well. 3 goals for Juve this season. Quick guy. And you guys from the States are going to kill me for not remembering his name. But they're on the up. We'll see how they do in the Coppa Italia. I'm not feeling that confident on it. I'm also not feeling too pessimistic because I think this Juve team is not invincible. But it's something that I'd like to ask you guys. What do you think? While I speak about it, what do you think again about Juve? Oh yeah, Quadrado is also going to be out. Lorenz is saying, Sandro as well. Mattias is saying, are you Italian? Yes, I'm from Naples. I just have a different accent because I've moved around a lot. So tell me what you guys think is going to happen in the Juve game. Do you think we're going to win? Do you think we're going to play well? Is it going to go to penalties? Who's going to be, starting? Is it going to be Fabian Bakayoko, the midfield that's been starting the most? Or is it going to be Demme, Bakayoko? Is Mertens going to play? That's another big one, because if Mertens play, is he going to take Petagna's spot? I don't really know where that final is going to go, because there's a lot of question marks on formation. I think if Osimhen would have been back, I would have backed Napoli, just because his speed can really hurt them. I think maybe De Ligt might be out as well, so that's a positive thing for Napoli as well. ID Beats, man, you're killing me today. The return of the 4-3-3 thoughts. I think that's going to confuse the players, to be honest. I think I don't want Napoli to start changing up formations necessarily right now. I think we've started a 4-2-3-1 this season. It seems like Gattuso's fixed on that. I think if he changes to a 4-3-3, then it could throw some players off. There's some players that are playing really well in this formation, the 4-2-3-1, such as Lozano, and I wouldn't want to compromise Lozano, for example. 4-3-3, though, would be good until Osimhen maybe comes back, if we've got Mertens. But we saw last season that we weren't getting enough people into the box with the 4-3-3, something that we're doing now. Guys, Napoli are only struggling now because we're conceding stupid goals. We lost to Inter for a stupid goal. It was a penalty. We lost to Lazio because of a stupid goal. We conceded against Milan because Koulibaly let Ibrahimovic get a header from outside the box. We conceded against Spezia because the ball hit the post and it got stuck on the ground and Di Lorenzo and Mario Rui had a brain fart. Guys, we're conceding the most ridiculous goals that otherwise we would have won those games. So for me, it's not a matter of formation. I think these players are mentally, switched off. They don't want it that badly. But going to a 4-3-3 is just going to confuse them more. I don't think that's the issue right now. It's not really a tactical one. I don't really see it as that. I think it's more stay with the 4-2-3-1, put Bakayoko Demme in the midfield. You've got the midfield sorted, and then just work on being concentrated in defense. Easy. Then you can win games 1 or 2-0. Done. That's where I would take the team if I was coaching Napoli. And someone is saying Demme is doing well in 4-2-3-1. Unfortunately, your name is in Japanese, I think. So I don't know how to say your name. I'm sorry. But yeah, Demme is doing well in the 4-2-3-1, which is what I'm saying. Put Demme in there and you've fixed your midfield issue. The fact that we're getting sliced like butter in there with Fabian being so slow is going to change when you've got Demme. ID Beats is saying very correct analysis. Thank you, ID Beats. We can finally agree on something. Rafael Cervantes is saying, I see what you're saying. They keep missing chances too. That's another huge point. Guys, against Spezia and the team before, Cagliari, we had 30 shots. 10 of which on target on both games. And against Spezia, what's crazy is that we had 10 on target shots, 20 off target, but those 20 off targets were ridiculous. I could have scored them. You guys could have all scored those goals, and it went off target. So they don't even count as on target, but it's crazy. We could have had easily 10 goals against Spezia. What can Gattuso do? He's putting them in a position to score. If Insigne can't score a rolling penalty, that's not Gattuso's fault. That's not 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1. All that, guys, that's not the issue. The issue is that these players don't want it enough. They're cracking under pressure, all that sort of stuff. Let's see what else. Daniel Bowman is saying, let's talk about your video about the director in the front office. Yeah, guys, if you haven't watched the last video that I did, I'm talking about how we're missing someone in the club that can be the player's guide. Because Gattuso, let's be honest, he's got so much to think about: tactics, formations. He's got to think about transfer window. If Elmas is feeling down, do you think Gattuso has time to go to Elmas and tell him, what he needs to do mentally or coach him mentally? No, he doesn't. And let me tell you something. Having someone in that role, a director role that, has played football recently, someone like Pampa Sosa, like I said in that video, that's going to prevent players like Osimhen going back home, partying, getting COVID. Because someone like Pampa Sosa would have told this guy, yo, what are you doing? What is this? You're going home? We've got a cup final in January. Gattuso sometimes maybe he's a bit, he didn't think about that. Because he's got so much else to think about. De Laurentiis has got so much else to think about. Giuntoli, the sporting director, has got so much else to think about during the transfer market period as well. But if you've got someone that's specifically there to take care of the players, their behavior, and mentally, this Napoli team is going to earn 10 points a season just with that guy. That's the most important player, or the most important piece of the puzzle for us. And it's someone that Inter, Juve, Milan have. And it's no coincidence that these teams are doing better than Napoli. You could argue, Inter, Milan haven't won recently, but Milan are picking up because Maldini came into Milan, not just Ibrahimovic. And Ibrahimovic sort of does that role as well. He plays, but he has that sort of, leader sort of role, something that we don't have at Napoli, because Insigne is a technical leader. I don't think he's necessarily a behavioral or mental leader of the team. Inter have that with Zanetti, and Inter have been doing good ever since Zanetti joined Inter again. So And obviously Juve, we don't even need to talk about Juve, guys. Juve have been winning 9 titles in a row with Nedved being in the team. So that's 10 points easy that the team has every single season with that guy in that role. And Napoli is not taking the most or not taking advantage of that. IDB is saying Osimhen was given a surprise party by his sister. Napoli talk. I know, guys, but it's not he organized it. But I don't think he should have ever gone back to Nigeria. I don't think he should have ever left Naples. I think you can definitely get treated for a shoulder in Naples. There's no reason for you to go to Belgium in the first place. I know he's had past experiences in Belgium before. So maybe he knows the doctor there, whatever. But you want to be breathing the same air as the team. You want to be breathing the same air as the fans. You want to be in Naples, even if you're injured. You want to be on the touchline of the games, even if you can't play. That's how you grow as well. He's missing out on all the tactical meetings that the team's having. He's missing out on all the fun stuff that maybe the team could be doing on their timeouts. Because he's all the way out in Belgium fixing the shoulder injury. Are you serious, guys? Pampa Sosa would have told this guy, dude, get back here right now. What are you doing? That's not how you build team spirit. You're missing out on so much. Especially for someone that's new to the team. Should be in Naples all the time. There's no reason for him to go back. Anything could have happened. Nigeria could have closed the borders, guys. Nigeria could have closed the borders because of COVID, or Belgium could have closed the borders because of COVID, and Osimhen would have been stuck there. And you've got a cup final to play against Juventus? Come on, man. For me, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. It's not something I would have done, to be honest. Nedal Kolamar is saying, doesn't Mertens use his role? He was shouting last game. Yes, Mertens is developing into that person. A bit like, as I said, Ibrahimovic. The difference is that I think we also need someone outside. Because Mertens, let's say Petagna is a bit down. Yeah, Mertens can go to Petagna and say, cheer up. But at the same time, they're fighting for that spot. It needs to be someone who's not biased. So it needs to be someone outside and someone who's not directly linked with the players, because even within a team, right, it's 25 guys, and we've all had, we've all been in classrooms before. There's going to be like small different cliques, five friends here, 5 friends there, 10 friends here, and you might not really get along with everyone so well. So Mertens, even though he's a great guy, maybe he might not get along with all 25 of these players. It's normal. It's just how it is. I'm not saying he hates one of them. I'm just saying he might not get along with all of them. So someone he's feeling a bit down or needs some advice might not necessarily go to Mertens. What you need is someone that they look up to, who has experience in their position, who's detached from it. So that's where I think someone like Pampa Sosa, can, a bit like a counselor, guys, can be important to Napoli. Now, whether that's Sosa, whether that's Maggio in a few years, Hamsik, whatever, guys, I think we need someone in that position with a lot of experience who knows about the club, not just some random guy. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Adam Miller, you are short-sighted if you want to sell Fabian. ID Beats is saying. Guys, Fabian, ID Beats, listen, Fabian is a great player. Potentially one of the best midfielders in Europe. But you can bring a donkey to the water. You can't force him to drink, Gattuso can put him on the field, but if Fabian doesn't want to play as well as he plays for Spain, for Napoli, then we can't force it. There's no point. So, you know what I mean? If Fabian's not feeling it at Napoli, then it's best to let him go. You don't want to have players that are not giving it their 100. So that's just my opinion on Fabian. I think, though, in a different environment, potentially back in Spain, then maybe Fabian is going to do better. You're saying it's a tactical issue. It it could be. But then again, if we're playing a 4-2-3-1 and Gattuso's playing that because of Osimhen needing that formation, then what are you going to do? Keep Fabian for the next 4 years in a bad position? No, it's not fair to him either. He's got a career to do, and it's not fair that he gets criticized every weekend when, you know, he's obviously not playing in his correct position, even though he has the potential in a different formation to be world class. But, you know, so does Osimhen in a 4-2-3-1. So it's a balancing act. And right now we're putting our efforts onto Osimhen. So what else are we saying in here? Daniel D is saying Napoli need another CDM that can pair up with Bakai and Demme. A player like Locatelli would be perfect. Not necessarily maybe pair up with them, because then we'd be switching formation. But Locatelli is a great player that I think could be interchangeable with Bakai and Demme. He's got a lot of energy, Locatelli, improving. He's 23. A lot of experience in Serie A. 6 years now in Serie A, because he started off at 17 with Milan, a wonder kid, exploded onto the scene with a great goal against Juventus. Brilliant goal, guys. Go watch that goal if you can after my live, not right now. Hold on. Right now, all you guys got to do is smash that like button. But after, he went onto that scene, exploded, then dipped, took a step back, went to Sassuolo, admitted in an interview saying, I had to make that conscious decision to take a step back to take 3 steps forward. And that's exactly what he did. He's grown into such a good player right now that he's probably going to start in the Italian squad in the Euros. And, it'd be great to see him at Napoli. I think he'd do really well. A good passer of the ball, good shot. I like him. Very good player. Avisha Conti is saying, how do you feel about Lobotka and Demme together? I like them today. I did. I wasn't disappointed with Lobotka. I obviously like Demme. You guys who have been following me for a while know that I think Demme is such a good player. No wonder he was captain of RB Leipzig. But Lobotka, I like a bit less. Let's just put it that way. I like him a bit less. I think that although he didn't play bad today, he doesn't do that much. And I think the goal that Napoli conceded was his fault. I don't think he was in the correct position. And, let me show you guys in the picture here or there. He came late onto the ball. So Demme was covering from a few moments from being basically Demme was coming from in this picture the left, even though it's on the right side of Napoli, coming into the ball, but Lobotka should have been there onto the midfielder that took the shot. The guy had so much time on the ball, it was actually crazy. And 1 second later in the next frame you can see Lobotka coming in. But he's late, guys. He's late. He's 1 second late in putting his foot in the way of the shot. I think that was his fault. But I haven't been impressed with Lobotka recently. Just in general, I don't think playing a decent game against Empoli is going to change my mind. If he plays well against Juventus, then maybe we're talking about something else, But against Empoli, what you have to do is not play bad. If you play decent, for me, that doesn't prove anything. So, yeah, sorry, Lobotka fans. I hope to be proved wrong. With all Napoli players, by the way, I hope to be proved wrong. I hope they all become future Ballon d'Or winners. So, nothing personal against them. Trust me. Let's see. Pranav Jain is saying Fabian's work rate let him down and Demme's work rate makes him a starter. Exactly. He's got so much explosivity. He's covering and also with the ball. It's not just his defensive, but guys, after this video, go take a look at Napoli Rijeka, the video analysis I did on Napoli Rijeka, because that one is focused just on Demme. And you can see how important he was offensively, because a lot of the times Demme gets praised for his defensive aspect, his covering. In that video, I analyzed him going forward. I took maybe like 6 different scenarios of him going forward and getting into the right positions and making the right passes, and he even scored in the end of that game. So take a look at that video and you can see that Demme is a complete midfielder, guys. The only thing that he's missing is long-range shots, even though he has scored one this season outside the box. Yeah, he's quite complete. Even though we've seen Di Lorenzo today help out in the midfield so that he can pass the ball forwards a bit more, because it's not Demme's natural role, but he can do it. Guys, what are we saying? Daniel D saying, how do you think Rahmani played today? I think he had a really good bounce back game. He looked pretty good with KK and almost scored 2. Yeah, I said that at the start of my video when I gave the player ratings. I think a lot of you guys are joining just now, but whoops, wrong. I clicked the wrong button, guys. A lot of you guys, I'm gonna put the player ratings now. So I've given Napoli in general a 6 and a 6.5 to Gattuso, and this extra little 0.5 for Gattuso compared to Napoli is because he played Rahmani, gave him a chance, gave him confidence, and I think Rahmani played a good game. No bad mistakes, nothing bad, and I think playing alongside Koulibaly gave him a lot more confidence than playing alongside Maksimovic. And let me tell you guys one thing: if Manolas didn't get injured, if he didn't get injured against Udinese on Sunday, then Rahmani wouldn't have played so badly, because I think he suffered having Maksimovic next to him, because Maksimovic himself is not playing that well. So imagine how tough it is for someone like Rahmani to try to compensate for Maksimovic as well. So that's good for him. I hope he recovers. He was obviously in good form, mentally okay, strong guy. So all the best for him, and hopefully he can do wonders for Napoli. Daniel Bonus saying, what does Meret deserve? I think Meret maybe could have done a bit more in terms of positioning on the goals. I don't think necessarily he could have got to them because they hit the post and went in. And guys, Meret is so unlucky. Most of the goals he concedes are not his fault. Whenever we have Meret in goal, the other team either scores great goals or Napoli defense is all over the place, like with Rahmani last weekend. But it's very rare that Meret does a mistake himself, which is why I like to see him start more, but it's almost like he's a bad luck charm at times. Today, he was all right. We conceded 2 goals. That's always bad for a goalkeeper. But as I said, not really his fault. Maybe could have been positioned a bit better, but I'm no goalkeeper expert either. Ask me about on-field players, and I can give you a bit more details than goalkeepers. Yeah. He's saying, I think Meret was a 5.5, needed to do better on both shots. Are you talking about positioning or actual saving it? Because, those shots hit the post and went in, so it's always tough. They weren't... I think, for example, Lozano's goal could have been saved by the Empoli goalkeeper much more than Meret could have done on the Empoli goals, in my opinion. Anthony, I think we're saying the same thing there about Meret, and Daniel saying, what do you expect against Fiorentina? First off, guys, playing against Fiorentina with Callejon on the field is going to be emotional. It's going to feel wrong. That purple shirt on Callejon with the number 77 instead of 7, that's going to be a big factor, in the game for us, for him, for the Napoli players. But aside from all that, then Anthony's saying, stop reading my mind. We're synced, bro. It's too many videos now. Apart from that, I expect Napoli to be on the up. Now it's 2 wins in a row. If we ignore the most recent loss, then it's 3 wins out of 4. So, I think if you consider it in that sense, then you can say, okay, Napoli's, starting to go somewhere. Now, let's show a bit more intent with how we attack. Let's show, let's try to keep a clean sheet. I think we need to. I think if we don't keep a clean sheet, then we're dead against Juventus. Juventus are gonna say these guys have conceded a goal in the last 9 games, and Napoli's gonna know that they did, and they're gonna suffer mentally. We need a clean sheet. That's the most important thing, and we need to score. We need to unlock Insigne, guys. I think we need to do everything possible to unlock Insigne in the next game. I think if Insigne scores and we get a clean sheet, that's a new season for Napoli right there. So, regardless of the Coppa Italia, regardless of the Super Cup, if Insigne scores, can get out of this bad form, and we get a clean sheet finally, then that's it. Napoli can start from scratch. Mertens will come on. Hopefully Osimhen soon. But we need that, guys. We so need that. Obviously, that's what I hope. And I think that's something that Gattuso needs to tell the players. That's the most important thing in the moment. Maximus, welcome. You're late. Working third shift. Glad you decided to join the live right after. IDB saying Insigne and Mertens without Callejon hits different. 100%, man. But guys, don't be surprised if Callejon all of a sudden turns around when Insigne has the ball and makes that run in the second post. I half expect that to happen. Maybe not score an own goal, but, just for old time's sake, just take take a shot, miss. That's what he used to do recently. That'd be nice. Fiorentina don't get damaged by it. Everyone has a good laugh. We get a corner. Maybe Rahmani scores from it. Who knows? Who knows, guys? Crazy things have happened before. Andrea Apicella is saying, what should Napoli's objective be this season in Serie A, Scudetto, or Champions? Oh, what should they be? Serie A, Scudetto, or Champions League? You mean? Okay, well, I think Europa League, I think we have to reach the semifinals. After that, it's going to be tough teams. It's going to be, your Inters, your Man Uniteds, That's fine if we don't win the Europa League. That's tough. I do expect semi-final. Coppa Italia, we need to reach the final because we did it last season. And, in the final, again, anything can happen. That can go both ways, but we need to reach the final. Otherwise, it's a step back. That's as simple as that. And Serie A, we need top 4. We need top 4, not because of whatever reason. We need it financially because we missed top 4 last season. We can't go 2 years without top 4. That's going to compromise our whole project. We're going to have to sell someone important. Fabian, maybe also Koulibaly. It's going to be tough on Napoli if they don't get top 4, if we don't get back into the Champions League. Whether we need to fight for the Scudetto. If we win our game against Juventus in hand, we're only 6 points behind Milan. So... But I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. We're still in the title race. You guys are going to shoot me through the screen, guys. So I'm not going to say it. But it's only 6 points. That's all I'll say. It's only 6. I've seen crazier things with less than 19 games remaining. So especially if this has been our worst period, I can't see this going on forever, and other teams like Milan having happy days for the rest of their lives. They're going to go through rough patches as well. So, who knows? But again, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to jinx it. But maybe you guys can read my mind. Who knows? Maximus is saying, it's nice to have finally someone to talk about Napoli with. That's why I started this channel, guys. It was driving me crazy. I didn't know anyone to talk about Napoli with. I would have never saw myself going on screen and talking about it and having 780 something subscribers in just 6 months. But here you guys are. I feel like I know all of you, and it's a really good community, guys. I'm doing it just to speak to you guys. In my last live, it said on the bottom that it included paid promotions. That's not true, guys. There's no sponsors, no nothing in these videos, no money coming in from YouTube, for such a small channel. So, I'm just doing it just to speak to you guys, have a platform like that. So, and it's nice. It feels good to vent to you guys after wins, after losses, after draws. There's not that many draws with Napoli, but it's good. And Daniel Bone is saying, let's share and get him to 1,000 subscribers. Hopefully. Please do. If you like the videos, smash that like button. 52 likes already. Thank you guys. So very much appreciated. Salvatore De Brita saying, this channel and the Discord finally gave me a place to talk Napoli. My girlfriend was getting sick of me talking about them. Man, I'm glad that you found this channel. I'm glad that you found the Discord through this channel, I think it was. And I'm happy for your girlfriend, man. I'm happy. I think that could I think that's earned you a lot of points, or at least stopped you from losing some points every time you mention Napoli to her. Because it can be frustrating, guys. It can be, especially if it's Napoli, Imagine you're not a Napoli fan and you hear someone just talking Napoli to you all the time and how bad we're playing and Petagna and all that. So I'm glad I saved your life there, Sal. I'm glad. Anthony is saying, only true fans of our channel know. Smash that like button. Smash that like button, guys. 54 of you. Thank you. Keep going up. Anyways, how long has this been going on for, guys? 1 hour and 16. Guys, I'm going to have to end the live, because if I go any longer, then my throat's gonna dry up live on camera. I need a drink of water. And guys, thank you. Smash that like button. Hopefully we get a good, nice, clean sheet against Fiorentina. We're probably gonna concede 5 goals after I said this. But guys, make sure you smash that like button, share, comment, all that. See you against Fiorentina. And as always, Forza Napoli, sempre.